evangelical God is deaf. It's disgusting. If that's what Christianity is, no wonder nobody wants anything to do with it.
And the entirety of what you call tradition and your ancient mass is really just Roman paganism revisited.
I would say that Protestants are a mess, not because they're evil or heretics or entirely wrong about everything, but simply because they're all over the map.
So blatantly obvious how nonsensical Mormonism is.
There is so much noise going on in this space right now. And I want to give you 3 simple ways that you can recognize a piece of content that is tailored and more concerned about getting views that lead to subscribers than it is with telling you the truth. We all know that we're living in the age of misinformation, and especially in the world of religion, the stakes are high and the consequences are real. Here's a fair warning. What you're about to see might change the way that you view religious content forever. Most of us consume content online and we assume that it is the truth being fed to us. When it's a religious creator of someone that we like or trust, we confidently accept their word as the truth. We see debates, debunkings, dramatic presentations, revelations that all present themselves as the obvious truth, leaving the other side the obvious wrong answer. Creators take turns throwing insults back at each other, never listening, but always proving their point in the end. When a creator is one of us, we typically cheer for them. When they're not one of us, we go and find the creator that is. But how on earth can we tell that the content that either of them or any of them are producing is rooted in truth at all? Many creators are willing to bend or distort the truth in their content. Others are willing to flat out lie. Once you learn to spot the distortion and the twisting, you won't be able to unsee it. Hey everyone, I'm Travis Lish, and over the last 6 months, I've jumped into the space of apologetics. But more importantly for this video, I focus on the algorithms of how social media works and how it is inspiring and pushing religious creators to sensationalize or distort information to get more views and to get more follows online. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to expose 3 specific tactics that religious influencers use to manipulate your emotions. By the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize each of the 3 tactics. The first and most obvious of the 3 tactics is when a creator chooses mockery over actual substance. They figured out that it's far easier to make somebody laugh than it is to help them see truthfully both sides of a scenario. You'll be able to recognize this tactic very easily when you're watching a piece of content and the creator spends more time mocking somebody else's position than explaining their position or explaining their own for that matter. They'll rely heavily on sarcasm, insults, and gotcha moments, and they'll flat out ridicule other faiths and denominations. While this approach is effective for getting views, likes, and comments, it is incredibly irresponsible. Mockery requires no research, no nuance, and no careful thought. If you're walking away from a piece of content feeling that the other side is mock-worthy or worthy to be laughed at, you've just consumed content that is guilty of tactic number 1. But using insults over substance is just the surface level. There's a much more subtle manipulation that is far more dangerous. The second tactic is to sensationalize anything and everything. They'll add drama where there is none or where there ought not be any. With this one, pay attention to how creators are framing their content. Is every thumbnail one that all caps destroys somebody else or exposes somebody else, or you won't believe what he said or she said, or holy smokes, look at this shocking truth that just got revealed, or here's the secrets they don't want you to know? Here's what's really happening there. They're taking topics that deserve a genuine and deep and meaningful conversation, and they're turning them into clickbait entertainment. Look, the reality here is that we have lost the capacity to have meaningful religious dialogue across religious lines, and creators are exhibit A of the problem. Instead of modeling how disciples of Jesus Christ ought to interact with each other, they're giving us a terrible example. Every interaction turns into a win-lose scenario where they're trying to make somebody else look bad and their side look good. It's not about understanding. It's not even about truth anymore. It's about winning. And just a hint, if it's all about winning, that's just ego and pride talking at that point. The sensationalization happens when a creator will take any story, any fact, any tidbit, any quote, and they will make it as extreme or scandalous as possible. And this sensationalism isn't just misleading, it is actively making us worse at the type of dialogue that Jesus Christ has invited us to have. These creators are teaching an entire generation that interfaith dialogue is supposed to look like verbal jujitsu. Now, I'm not blaming religious creators for all the problems we have with communication with each other, but it would be nice to see those who claim to be disciples of Jesus Christ make an attempt to communicate with others in a way that he would be glad. Now, while this tactic is quite slimy, the third tactic is even more subtle and more common. The third tactic to watch out for is called the strawman tactic. This tactic is all about making an opponent's position look silly, ridiculous, stupid, or extreme. The strategy here is to take a position that the other side genuinely holds and make it appear weak and fragile, and then the creator will spend the entire video attacking the weak and fragile perspective that isn't even the actual position of the opponent. It only exists in the mind of the creator. According to Pew Research Center in 2022, 65% of Americans say that religious differences are creating more harmful division now than in previous generations. And this is where I do want to call out religious creators. They often make it worse by misrepresenting opposing views, making it difficult for people to see eye to eye. Here's how to spot a straw man. Do they use the most extreme example possible while trying to represent opponents' views? Do they present opposing views in ways that makes them sound silly, wrong, or stupid? Do they quote people out of context or take a small clip out of an entire video to try and tear down another side's argument? I've started to notice a trend here. When one side would paint their opponent's side as being stupid or obviously dumb or wrong, I started looking into this. When one creator would paint a picture of the other creator that their side was obviously stupid, dumb, or wrong, I would go and look at the actual position. I would do my research and see what the other individual actually believes. And let me tell you, the distortion is real. Most often, the creator is only arguing against the straw man that they created in their own mind. And this has been the most eye-opening thing for me. The manipulation often starts before you even click on the video. When you see a title like, "Do Protestants even care about the Bible anymore?" you can pause and you can know, yeah, I actually do know that Protestants do care about the Bible. So what should I think about a creator who's willing to sensationalize a topic before you even click? How much weight should be given to that video? And does that video even deserve your click? The only purpose it does is pat you on the back and validate your own beliefs, but you're not receiving truth. According to Barna Group's research in 2023, one of the top reasons that people leave Christianity is how they've been treated by other Christians. So shouldn't it concern us when Christian creators give a masterclass on how to treat other people poorly? I'm not trying to put the blame of Christians leaving Christianity all on religious creators here, but it would be nice if they could present us with an example of how to have interfaith dialogue in a way that was kind and respectful rather than belittling and demeaning. Let's not forget that we've been invited to be a light on a hill. Most of the time to me, it seems like we're just too delighted to be a dumpster fire on the hill. If the content you're consuming is painting the other side as irrational, illogical, and you'd have to be an idiot to believe it, you're consuming misinformation. Real opposing views almost always have logic behind them, otherwise they wouldn't exist. Now, not all religious content creators are manipulative. Obviously not. There's so many that are good. There's so many that are literally changing lives out there. My invitation for you is to find, follow, and consume information from individuals who are committed to giving you the truth, not simply trying to increase their following. The 3 tactics I just showed you: 1, insults over substance; 2, the sensationalizing of topics; and 3, strawman arguments are so common. And now that you've seen these, you'll start to see them everywhere. They're effective because when your side is getting validated, it feels really good. To all the creators out there, let's commit to being better. To consumers of content, keep your eyes out for these 3 tactics. You, I, and the rest of the world would be better off if we started to question and reject content that used these 3 tactics. If you want to continue to learn with us here at the Holy Rebellion and maybe help us stay in line and avoid using these 3 tactics, go ahead and follow along with us. Every week we dive into important questions of faith, explore truth, and seek to bring others to Christ in preparation for the second coming of the Savior. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.